What's happening, good people? Welcome to the Wealth 100 Show. I'm your host, George Gilmore, and it's go time. Listen, guys, each week we bring on six-figure professionals and entrepreneurs who are winning in life and business. If you're ready to take your life to the next level, you found the right place. I need you to get into the room right now, guys. I'm putting you in the room with winners that will help push you towards your dreams. Finally, if you want to grow your business, grow your network, and live your dreams to the fullest, I encourage you to apply to the Wealth 100 Mastermind at thewealth100.com, where lives are being transformed through self-development and access to wealth-building opportunities. Welcome to the Wealth 100 Show. Let's go. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Wealth 100 Show. I am your host, Mr. George Gilmore. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. We got a special guest, two special guests in the building. I have a young lady named Sera Gilmore and a young guy over here named George Gilmore. The great thing about this show, guys, these happen to be my parents. So welcome to the show. Why am I doing this one? We'll find out later as we go along in the show. Why are we doing this one? But I want to give you a little bit of information about my family, my parents. They are serial entrepreneurs. You'll see that on the screen down there. They gave me the entrepreneurial bug, and I thank y'all for that today. Welcome. Listen, my mother, Sera Gilmore, background's an educator, graduated from Fayetteville State University, graduate degree, and a master's degree in
Education Administration. So she's a former educator in the Cumberland County school system of North Carolina, man. Mm-hmm. And then my dad attended Fayetteville State University, was a truck driver, a local Teamsters organizer, and an international Teamsters Union organizer. Is that correct, Pops?
That is correct.
That is correct. So we got Sera and George Gilmore. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Glad to be here.
I don't know where we're going today, but it's going to be interesting.
Okay.
Look, I want you to tell my audience. Listen, guys, this is a couple that's been married for 55 years now. 55 years now. And they have done business together for over 40 years. So this is something special. This is different. You don't see this in most families, and that's what people tell me all the time. Your family is strange, it's unique. You don't see that. So you've got my mom, my dad, my sisters, my brothers-in-laws and sisters-in-laws. We were all in business together. Like I said, for over, at this point, my parents 40 plus years.
Yeah.
I'll give you some of the businesses that they've been a part of. Been in the healthcare space for a long time, over 30 plus years, mental health space. We've had a mobile bakery. We've had a clinical trials company. We've had janitorial services, maid services, and probably 7 or 8 other businesses over the years. Yes. So we don't play when it comes to business. How about that? How about that? I want you guys just to tell the people a little bit about yourself growing up. Mom, if you could go back so they'll know where we're coming from.
I'll do that. I grew up, my mom, of course, was a single mom, but you still didn't totally experience that because I was raised by a grandmother with my aunts, my uncles, and several other cousins in the same household. So you really didn't miss a lot. And my grandmother was an old school teacher, so she was good at giving instructions and wanting you to follow goals and those kinds of things. So that's kind of a little bit of my background. Of course, we didn't have a whole lot of money, and I got tired of hearing every time you asked a question or needed something, don't ask me, I don't have any money. I got so tired of that as a kid. And I remember saying to myself, someday I'm not going to have to ask anybody. I'll do it myself. And that's exactly what I started doing as I grew a little bit older. Okay. Is how I started.
Okay, Dad, tell people a little bit about you. Where you come from?
About me, I come from a family of 10. And we was extremely poor. Matter of fact, we were so poor they used to call us the Roger Dangerfield family. We were laughed at in the community, the churches and all. And I don't know how many times I've heard that you'll never be anything. Wow. And I had said in my mind when I heard that I will succeed in life. Mm-hmm. And I looked around and we were so poor that whenever the house that we were living in, you could look down, see the chicken, up and see the rain and the moon and the stars. Wow. We lived like that, and all 10 kids slept in one room. We were very poor. We were so poor that we was adopted by the military one year as family so that they would support us some. But we came up extremely poor, and my one thing that I said in my mind, that all this money that I've seen floating around and we have none of it, I'm going to get me some money. That was the bottom line to it.
Listen, guys, I wanted you to get that. Now, you're here. We're going to the starting point.
Oh, yeah.
Where does this begin at? So I want to get to, okay, you went to college. You formerly worked in a factory sewing
Factory, right. Well, what you...
When I was born, guys. This is when I was born. Okay.
Well, some of what you probably missed, that was the thing that pulled us together. We both hated poverty.
Absolutely.
And we wanted more. I recognized it in him. He recognized it in me.
Let me back up.
Okay.
How did y'all meet? Then we'll get back to that. That's how did y'all meet? Go ahead and tell everybody.
We met in high school.
High school.
Right.
Exactly.
He would bring one of his friends to see my cousin. And so, that meant I'm near the age of my cousin. He was supposed to talk to me, but I couldn't stand him. So I would have absolutely nothing.
Stand who?
Him. George. So I would have absolutely nothing to do with him. It was so bad that when we'd get on the school bus in the afternoon, he would try to sit next to me, and he would have to push me over, and I would slide over and turn my head. I wouldn't talk to him at all.
Oh my God.
But that was, but again, the thing we did like is we both wanted more.
Okay.
We were sick of how we lived.
So y'all met in high school.
Yeah,
We met in high school and married I was 18 and he was 20.
So listen, I'm giving y'all the foundation. Met in high school, she couldn't stand him.
Couldn't stand
But
it.
somehow she's still here after 55 years.
He was persistent.
She couldn't stand me, but when I first saw her, I went home and told my family I saw the girl that I'm gonna marry.
Oh my God.
He did.
And I was a high school senior at the time, and I said, what did they say? What are you? I said, no, I saw the one I'm gonna marry.
Oh my goodness.
And I was determined. She couldn't keep me away. and I was dead there. That's just where you go. See, when you want something, you go after it.
for it. You go for it.
That's the way you do it.
Lesson number one.
Persistence.
So listen, guys. When I was born, Mom was working at a factory. Was it sewing curtains?
Sewing
Curtains. Listen, and my dad was on a trash truck.
Yeah.
Am I correct? Were you driving the trash truck or on the back of the trash truck?
I was driving the trash truck. Plus, I was driving the trash truck in the daytime, and at night I worked in a restaurant. I was working 2 jobs when you was born.
2 jobs. Are y'all tracking? You're
Yes.
tracking.
Work will not hurt you. Let me put that in.
We're gonna get to work ethic at some
Okay,
point.
we'll get to it after a while.
So, guys, you got some of the background. Okay, Mom, tell them what happened. You were working in the sewing factory. Then you said
I was at the
something
sewing
clicked.
machine factory.
What happened?
But what happened after that, I knew I didn't belong there. So then I transferred to the telephone company. At the time, it was Carolina Telephone. I became a telephone operator. And they trained you in those kinds of things. And I worked a night shift. I think I got off at 6 in the morning, late at night to 6 in the morning. And suddenly one night, I'm plugging in the calls. In those days, that's what you did. Something said, there has got to be a change. And so what I did when I got off that morning, by 8 o'clock, I drove myself to Fayetteville State. And I said, I want to become a college student. Okay. And got the application, filled it out right there. And I think they accepted me at that time. Yeah, on the spot. It didn't take long for those days. So that's how I got there.
So this is 1970 what?
1970, actually.
70?
1970, yes.
Okay, so young black couple, just coming out of the 60s, height of the civil rights movement.
Yes.
You decide I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to college. You on the trash truck.
Right.
What are you thinking when she comes home and tell you? Because she just went and did it.
I did it. I didn't ask him about it.
What are you thinking?
What did I think?
Yeah, tell me what you thought.
At that particular time, I thought nothing. And the reason why I thought nothing, because when I asked for her hand in marriage from her mother, the one thing her mother said to me, listen, I want my child to go to college.
She did.
And I said to her, if you will let me marry her, I promise you I will send her to college.
Now I'm 54.
That's why I had 2 jobs, and I paid for her college.
Okay, it's Mr. Smack Talker. Listen,
there you go.
Okay, so I never heard that part that that Grandma said that
yes.
to you.
Grandma said it to me.
That's interesting because when I got married to Julia, the thing that her parents requested was like, make sure she's got to finish college.
That's what it is.
Remember, because she got married in the middle of school.
It was very important. that generation taught that. It was very important for the girl to get an education.
Okay.
Very important.
Okay.
They knew that
Absolutely.
she could survive and succeed.
Okay. So you went on to college. You finished school. Finished college.
I
then-
finished college in 3 years. I
3
went from
years. Oh.
70. I used to take 21 hours at the time.
To those of you listening, my mother speaks. Are you listening to the voice? Are you listening to the speaking voice? Oh, she got it. I don't have that. She has it. But look. She was Oprah before Oprah, guys.
Yes.
If y'all didn't know that. But anyway.
Yeah,
so
I had
finished-
you. Sometimes you used to go to class with me. You don't
There you
remember,
go.
though.
Right. So you finished school.
Yes.
Then what happened? Where we go?
But once I finished school, my first job, I was hired. There was Fort Bragg at that time. Of course, the civil rights movement has happened. This is 73.
Absolutely.
So they were hiring at the time. So what happened?
So they were open to diversity
It was
at that time in the federal
It was
government.
affirmative action.
I got you.
Affirmative action. And that's actually what it was.
Got you.
They hired 3 of us, 2 black females and one male.
Okay.
He was white, of course. And what our job was, we were training GS5. In 3 years, we were going to be GS11s,
Okay.
which was unheard of in those
I got you.
days. So that was my first job. And I also I did a little bit at Fayetteville State teaching or tutoring the freshman college
Okay.
students in English. I did a little bit of that. And I stayed there till I was expecting our 3rd child, I believe.
Okay. Yeah,
And that's when I stopped there and stayed home with her for them
Okay.
for 2 years.
Okay.
But I knew what I needed to do.
And then how did you end up becoming an educator?
Well, what I did after that, I taught school. The next job I had, I taught school. I taught at Westover Senior High. I didn't. I taught it in Hope County first.
Yeah, I told somebody
Middle
the story.
school, and then I went to Westover Senior High.
And what were you teaching?
I taught English. I taught high school English, 10th, 11th, 12th grade.
Okay.
Chairman of the department. I did all of those things that you normally do. Work with the prom.
And how many years were you educating?
I taught for 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
Yes.
So all this is going on. What's going on with you over here, sir?
Work. Simple one word.
Word. That's all. That's the word.
You see, you have to understand,
Uh-oh.
my family taught us that the way out was work.
Got
A
you.
lot of hard work.
I got you.
They didn't stress education much because my mother was uneducated. She was a housekeeper for
Another family.
the other folks.
Yes.
And my dad, he used to cut what you call pulpwood. He worked
yeah.
in the lumber yard.
I got you.
And stuff like that.
Got you.
And they taught us that work was the way out
Right.
for
That's
us.
what they knew.
And
I got you.
and so they taught us that if you would get on any job and you would work your way up, that you could be successful that way.
Okay.
And that's what I believed in work. So that's all I did was work.
Okay, and that work, what was the work? I know you, like I said, we were back at the trash truck, and then you were doing the restaurant. Then how did you ended up becoming a trucker at
Yeah.
some point? So tell that little bit of that story.
Well,
You remember Burlington?
I went to work at a factory after
Okay,
that.
yeah, I remember
All right,
that.
I worked at a factory, and I worked there for years, but they were so unfair.
Got you.
And so what happened there, I was always radical. So
Yes.
I began to put a little pressure on them. And finally, I just had to walk away.
Right.
So I left walking from that job.
And I won't tell that story. I'm going to stop him right there.
You need to.
Because we're not going to go heavy into the story, but
to.
his life was literally threatened
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
every day at this particular job.
Oh, yeah.
Right here in Cumberland County, North Carolina,
Oh, yeah.
as a black man working in a
Right.
factory. I mean, it was just the story. If
It
I
was
was to tell
rough.
the story, is insane.
Oh, yeah.
He literally had to leave with people threatening to shoot him, and his brother standing at the gate with guns
Right.
to get him out of the factory.
Right.
And the story is crazy.
It is. And part of what you missed
Yeah.
when you left there, what you organized the other black workers at that factory. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And Rex Harris at that time was really big in civil rights
Absolutely.
in our local area. He owned the only black cleaners at
Yeah,
that
I
time.
remember.
It was huge, and he had Fort Bragg contracts.
Right.
And you organized that. So that was another reason they weren't too happy with him at
See,
that time.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
I
didn't
organized.
know.
And the meetings were held at Mount Calvary Missionary Baptist Church.
I didn't know that
That's
either.
where we had
Okay,
several
I'm learning
meetings.
some
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had several meetings there
Okay.
at that. And so we knew then that it's going to be kind of difficult to go back there.
I got you. So you ended up leaving Burlington, and then what happened here?
At that particular time, I went to a trucking company, and I had one little old piece of car at that time. And I called her. She picked me up because I left walking, and we went straight to the trucking company and filled out application. And a time I got back home, they hired me that afternoon to come to work. And I started working on the dock. And I worked on the dock for about a year. And then I had a good white friend of mine say, George, man, say, you need to be a truck driver. If you will come ride with me, I'll train you how to drive an 18-wheeler.
Okay.
So I would work my shift, third shift. Now, y'all need to get this, young folks.
Tell them.
I would work my third shift, and then I would crawl in the truck with him and ride all day long with him until he taught me to drive an 18-wheeler truck. And from there, I was gone.
That was it, huh?
Yes.
So
but you have to be willing to sacrifice if you want to get up the ladder in life.
So we got educator over here, we got trucker over here, and at that time you were you moved on to a union company.
I was working at a non-union company first.
Okay.
A union company came to town, and I moved to the union company.
Okay. There you go. Let's talk a little bit about some of the businesses, because I got to get to. We got to get to why. That's the first thing. Again, I told you the first business. Listen, guys, this is probably 82, 83, 81, 82, 83.
Somewhere in that area.
The first business I remember you guys going into was a multi-level marketing business. It was called Old World. It was like Amway, if you guys remember Amway.
Absolutely.
And from my recollection, you guys were pretty successful in that business. But I got to go back to why. What happened to make you guys even look at doing something which was foreign at the time to you, I guess?
But the interesting thing, as a young girl, we have dreams and goals. And I don't know what this was, but I could see myself. I was in a suit, heels. I loved high heel shoes at the time, and carrying a briefcase. Now, who else would do that but a businesswoman? So that for years, that's what I saw. So I'm teaching school. I've just finished my work as to become a principal. But I realized, I don't know if I want to do that either. But business is still in my heart and my head.
Absolutely.
So Old World came along. It was an upstart company. It just started. I knew it was similar to Amway. He and I talked about it. Let's try it. We had a good doctor friend at the time, Dr. Arthur Bradford, who was also doing it. We trusted him. So let's try it. We did pretty good at it.
What were some of the benefits? I'm going to ask you from joining that multi-level marketing business.
Oh, they taught me so many things about being successful in life by joining that particular company. And I learned from them that if you really wanted something, and you truly believed in it, you could do it. So what happened once we got involved, we began to move. My upline person was Dr. Bradford. And I was on top of him all the time in the success step. Every time he took a step, I was on top of him. The little truck driver. But remember, I'm like Les Brown. I was hungry.
I got you.
See, when a person is hungry, they'll go the extra mile.
I got you.
And so I pushed hard and I worked hard. I had a good organization that my wife and I had put together. And with that organization, we were one of the strongest legs, as you would call it back time, in that group. But I learned so many things from them about how to succeed. If you have a desire for something and truly believe in it yourself, that you can get up that ladder. And I did.
Right. And another thing about it, in the organization were other business people.
Absolutely.
It was Dr. Bradford.
They were already doing other entrepreneurship.
There were black CPAs. I had never met a black CPA.
Absolutely.
There were all kinds of other business people in there. So that also encouraged us.
Listen, guys, and I will say this is when the seed of entrepreneurship was planted in for me in my life. Yeah, because I remember, I always tell people this, I remember going to you guys had a conference in Atlanta. I think it was my first time in Atlanta. I had to be 14 years old.
It was.
And the conference was held at the Ritz-Carlton on Peachtree Street. And I never forget it. And I was like, oh my God, this is what business people do. They get to go to fancy hotels. That's what my head was thinking. And I was like, okay, I want to be a business guy.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
But what he didn't tell you is that when we left him in the room to go do something, we have 3 children. He was the oldest. They ate up the candy and all the snacks out of the refrigerators.
I didn't know what turn down service was. I didn't know what.
They didn't know we had to pay for it.
The lady asked me, did I want evening chocolate? yes, we won't even in chocolate. So
They ate
we ate
stuff.
chocolates. I didn't know what it was, but that's what it was.
Oh, that was the cutest
So
thing.
that was the first step into entrepreneurship for you guys.
It was.
The next thing, you went into janitorial services, maid services. You started a company called You've Got It Made.
You've Got It
This had to
Made.
be 84, 83?
83, 84.
Something along that, yeah.
Whose idea was it?
It was actually mine.
It was
Your
her idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're teaching.
Yes.
You decide, I'm quitting teaching.
I knew I had to do
I'm
something.
okay, boom, back up. What happened? Let's go right here. What happened
Okay.
when you decided, I'm quitting teaching,
Okay.
I'm going to start a cleaning service?
Right.
What did the community say to you?
Well, let me
And what
back
did
up a little
your friends say? Oh, take it back. Go ahead.
Let
Go
me
where
back
you
up a
want to
little
go.
bit.
Go where you
What
wanna go.
happened? I was teaching young people how to do a research paper.
Okay.
So in those days, of course, you didn't have what I call the Google machine. You had to go to the library. So while the students were in the library, I could also have time to flip through magazines. So I picked up, I think it was Essence magazine. I'm not sure. I think it was, and I saw in there that they were starting in Greensboro an organization for Black women entrepreneurs. It was called the American Association for Black Women Entrepreneurs. Bam.
So that was at the maid service time? Janitorial service time?
Right. I was starting already. I was
Okay.
getting it started.
Okay.
But that really sparked my interest
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
And I also knew that you could, at that time, you ordered catalogs
Yeah.
and notebooks that would teach you how to do business.
How to
from
start up.
step
Startup
one
guides.
to step to startup
Yeah.
guides. Right. I can't remember the name of that company.
It might have been. I can't remember. I want to say.
It might be Entrepreneur.
It might have been Entrepreneur magazine used to have them in the back of the book.
So I knew that I needed to start something that I could work in the school system while I started the business.
Exactly.
We needed to pay bills. We still needed to do things. So that's what I did. I ordered how to start a maid service, and that's what I did. I started You've Got It Made.
So again, sir, back to you. You're on the truck. Here she comes.
Yep.
I'm quitting school. I'm quitting teaching. I'm starting a maid service. What's your head say? What's your head say?
Well, I realized she had a good business head on her.
Okay, so
I
you
realized
realized
that.
Okay.
So I told her, I wasn't too sure about it, but yet I told her to go for it. I said, you go ahead and take the job, take the maid service, launch the maid service. I'm going to bring the money in to cover you.
Got you.
So what I was doing, I was trucking at the time, and we ran 5 days a week. But I went to my manager and told him, listen, you all are always backed up on weekends. I say, I'll run line haul. I was a local driver.
Okay.
So I said, I'll run line haul on the weekend to make extra money.
And what was line haul? What was
line haul is not running locally around here.
Right,
You
okay,
go
cool.
from, I may go from state to state or wherever
Okay,
I
I
need
got
to
you.
go,
I got you.
wherever they need me.
I got you.
So what I did, I signed up for that, and every weekend from that day forward, all the other drivers work 5 days and go home, and I would run every weekend.
See, I missed this.
He did.
And bring in extra money to make sure that everything was covered.
That is
Okay.
exactly what he did.
That's exactly what I did.
So talk to me. What was the community, your friends' reaction, and your community
Oh, my
reaction?
God.
You giving up that good teaching job? Talk to me. Follow your dreams. Talk to me.
That is something I'm sure every entrepreneur goes through. The negative talk.
Absolutely.
Have you lost your mind? Was one of the questions.
You're crazy.
Giving up that good job. You're going to starve to death. You're going to lose everything you have. Well, what did we have at the time but a house and 2 cars? If you lost it, I'm early 30s. You mean we can't get this again? Right. But it even got so bad that one of the teachers from school called me and said, look, come on back to work. You know you need this job. You need to come on back. But what it did, it made me even more determined not to go back. It made me more
Right.
determined to
I can believe
succeed
that.
at what I was going to do. I was determined I'm going to make this work.
And understand, guys, at this time, I remember it clearly. So I spent my middle school years or junior high years, and high school years.
Yep.
I didn't get in trouble because I was always somewhere cleaning the building on the
Absolutely.
weekends and in the
Cleaning
evenings. Look, the entire time of my high school years
Yep.
and middle school years.
Yes, you did.
Which also led me to my first business because I owned my own janitorial service
Yes,
while I
you
was in
did.
college,
Yes, you did.
which I did pretty well at
Yes, you
while
did.
I was in school.
Yes,
I
you
had
did.
got married at the time.
It
but-
helped see you through, didn't it?
I made good money.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
I did very well with janitorial service. I wish I had that check now. But
There you
anyway.
go. There you go.
Business is the way to go.
But what happens, son, we gave you the training. There's a verse in the Bible say, train up a child.
Oh, I forgot to tell y'all he's a
the way
retired
he
pastor
should
too.
go.
Go
And
ahead.
when he's old, he will not depart to it. We had gave you good training.
Yeah, you're correct,
And
sir.
that's why you was able to step into that and move forward.
Yeah, I forgot to tell the audience you were retired
Yeah,
pastor.
no need to- no need to tell
you
me.
can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear it. So we go from janitorial services does well. We had a janitorial service probably
It did very
at
well.
least 15 to 20 years.
The
at least.
only other company around that did maid service was Molly Maid.
At that time, I
That
remember.
was it. We were,
yeah,
it was
nobody
us
else really doing
and Molly
it.
Maid. We were the only
You were ahead
company
of your
that
time
you
at
really
that time.
very
Yeah.
much so.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
realize it though.
Yeah, I love that part. So we're doing the maid service, and you're still a part of this organization.
Hold on one
Go ahead. Oh, you guys
Back up to that community again.
Oh, he want to talk about. He want to
No, I
talk.
want to talk about your church folks.
Not the church folks.
Okay.
The community, that's the church folks.
I got you.
Okay.
I get you.
The church folks turn on us, and I don't know
forgot.
how many came to me,
forgot.
remember, told us that we was not that busy doing business, that
you
we
couldn't.
couldn't attend all those little stupid meetings. Wednesday night prayer service
Oh, my
with
God.
me and two other people sitting up, every Sunday evening program. But I had made up my mind that the way their church was going, they was all poor like I was. I wasn't going to be one of the poor individuals. So I said, what I'm doing, I don't care how much you talk about me, I'm out of here. And they got mad, about ready to throw me off every board in the church.
Wow.
But I told them, you throw me off. And at that time, I started looking around for successful people. And that's when we began to go, I think it was Joe Dudley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Joe Dudley.
Of Dudley Hair
that.
Products,
We
guys.
did do
$88
that.
million company out of
Multimillionaire.
Greensboro, North
I used to
Carolina.
take all my kids, my whole family, and we would go sit at the feet of Joe Dudley. I didn't want his money. I wanted knowledge. And we would go every weekend and visit that man, and he would allow us to come in.
He did.
And he would teach us some of the ways to be successful in life. And that was one of the key factors
Yes,
that
sir.
pushed me to move on to where we needed to go.
You have to get the information. You have to
Absolutely.
get the knowledge.
Don't
You
be afraid to sit at the feet of people.
You
I'm
must
telling you.
always do that.
So listen, guys, this janitorial service, I would say, blew up. It did very
It
well.
did. It did very
very
well.
well.
Oh, yeah.
Then you moved on to a 5-bed assisted living facility.
Well,
You see their title, serial entrepreneurs, guys. They're serial entrepreneurs, all right? You see where I get my nonsense from.
what happened, as you all said, what had happened was when I went to join, I wanted to join the organization, American Association of Black Women Entrepreneurs. They were having a meeting on a Saturday night. But what happened? I planned to go, but I woke up Saturday morning in pain. I got sick.
Right.
Oh goodness, I can't go. But what I did, I went to the doctor. He gave me shots. And then I came back and begged my husband. I said, if I lie down in the car all the way to Greensboro, would you please take me? Okay. And that's exactly what he did.
Absolutely.
And it was the best thing to have happened to me.
So you made one decision while you were sick
I was
to
sick.
go to a meeting,
Yes.
which was 2 hours away from your home. You got in your car.
My car.
And drove yourself.
He drove
the
me.
meeting,
I drove.
the meeting didn't come to you.
No,
And the reason I'm saying this,
No.
guys,
Oh, no.
oftentimes you're sitting at home, oh my God, I wish so-and-so would come to my
No,
town so I could go learn from them. Get on a plane, get in a car. This is 1980 something. You got in the car and you
Yep.
went to where the information was.
Absolutely.
You got to pursue the information, guys.
You
That's
have to. You go out and get it.
Yes.
If you want it, what is it? Ask and it shall be given.
Yeah.
Seek
You
and you shall find. Knock and the door shall
But
be
that's
open
what's
to
wrong with
you.
most people. They sit around waiting for success to come to them.
Ain't coming.
And it's never coming. It'll walk by you,
Yes, it will.
but it's not coming to you. Same opportunities are out there
Oh, my
all the
God.
time.
He
And you
said
have to take
success will walk by
advantage of it. If
you.
you don't take them, somebody else will.
Every time.
So you got there, you got to this meeting. Go
I
ahead.
went to
Tell
the
us a little bit
meeting.
about that
I
meeting.
went to the meeting, and the chairman of the meeting was a lady named Mary Ruth McDuffie.
Absolutely.
And at that time, I'm 30. She was so impressive. She's in her 50s. So of course I got a chance to sidle up to her and talk to her a little bit. So she invited me, come visit me during the week. So we set a schedule to come visit during the week. I was so impressed what she was in. At that time she owned a 30-bed nursing home,
Yeah.
several ICF, intermediate care facilities for consumers,
Gotcha.
several group homes. She was very wealthy at the time,
Yeah,
very much so,
Multi-million.
but was willing to take me under her wing and teach me what to do. That's
Absolutely.
what she did. So I started visiting her occasionally. But what happened, I didn't just do it for myself. We came back to Fayetteville. She helped me start an organization here. So we started a local
Okay.
ABWE
I didn't know that.
right here in Fayetteville. We had our first meeting at Lewis Chapel Baptist Church, and I call it in the basement.
Okay.
We actually started it here. So what happened then, that gave me an opportunity. I introduced her and her business to other women in the area. So not only did I start the 5-bed group home, Alice Smith started it, and along a little bit later came Sophia B. Pierce.
Okay.
That's how we got it started
They dominated.
in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The only other person who was already here would have been Miss Barbara Spiker.
I remember
She was
Spiker.
already here. So that's how we got started in
So
Fayetteville.
guys, are you listening? We're going to back up. Get in your car. You want some information, get in your car, go to where the meeting is,
You have
go to
to.
where the people are. You got to sometimes you got to leave your community, you got to leave your family, you got to leave your friends.
have to.
Go to where the information is. You're going to meet somebody.
You will.
9 times out of 10, you're going to end up meeting somebody that I do all the time.
You will.
I just do.
Absolutely.
And somebody liked you,
Yes.
said, let me show you the blueprint to what I do.
She did.
And I will say to you guys, that blueprint that lady gave you
She did.
has sustained us at least 33 years
At least.
in one particular business. Just because one lady said, let me show you what I do.
Right.
Come see me. You got the track, guys.
And I'll say this about that young lady. She was unusual. She was an angel sent from God
She was different.
to help these 2 poor individuals get on up the road. And the reason why I said that, remember, she invited us to come live in her home. I'd never been in a home like that, a multimillionaire. And we went up there and stayed with her before you brought
was a
all this to
weekend. I think it was a
For a
weekend.
weekend. We stayed all weekend. And she schooled us, began to talk to you about all the things that
She
you could
did.
do and the money you could make if you would follow the steps. And she gave us the steps to it. And from there, she took hold of it. And I haven't been able to stop her since.
Right. But think about it. We're in her home, a beautiful place. But this black female has a maid. Think about it. She has a chauffeur. She doesn't drive her car.
Absolutely.
But look at
Absolutely.
what that shows can be done.
Absolutely.
That's what happened. She showed me what could be done.
So I want to talk to you a little bit. Tell the people a little bit about your main business, what it does right now. Tell them you describe that.
We're actually in mental health, and for years we have done group homes for consumers with disabilities. Basically, adults is what we started with. Then we decided to go into children. Cumberland County was our base, but we've also done business in
Wilmington.
Right, Wilmington, North Carolina. We were asked to come to Wilmington once we started our children's group homes. The person in charge there called me and said, would you come down? We need you to start some homes here. So we did Wilmington. Then we bought a company in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I can't even remember when that was, 2010, 11, somewhere in that
Somewhere around
area.
there.
We purchased a company that did full-blooded, I call it, case management. It had at that time, they had about 300 clients when we bought them. So we've done a little bit of everything. And what we're looking at now is we've never done substance abuse. We're looking at adding substance abuse to what we're doing.
Are you tracking? So you got a couple,
Oof.
grew up in the height of the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
Worked at a sewing factory, drove a trash truck, rode a trash truck, to buying out a company with 300 clients
They
in
had at
it.
least 300
Are you tracking?
at the time.
Anything is possible, guys.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. I want you to talk to new entrepreneurs, because there's somebody out there that's got a dream, a vision, a desire to do something more. They know they have more inside of them. I want you to talk to them a little bit about pursuing that desire.
If you have a burning desire, first thing I'll say to all of you, the Creator said to each one of us, everybody He created, not no one race of people, that I will give you the desire of your heart if you have a burning desire for anything. Now, by that, He means that He will give you the gifts, He give us the talents, He give us the power. He give us everything we need to succeed in life. But what happened is sort of like having it in a bag. But we walk around with the bag and won't reach in and get nothing out of it.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
He says to us, since this is the Wealth 100, I give you the power to get wealth.
That's what he says.
You hear what I'm saying? Wealth. I give you the power to get wealth. So he give everybody that's created on this earth, he give them some gifts, certain talents. You are good at something.
That's true.
So what you have to do is be willing to, first of all, fear is something that grips people.
Oh, you talking now.
Fear grips you. But you got to overcome fear. You got to be willing to take steps, even though you're afraid. I've taken many steps in life. I was shaking like a leaf, but I took the step anyhow.
Right.
And every time you are land, the old folks used to say, if you take one step, the Creator take the second one. In other words, he will open up avenues for you if you will get up off of your and start moving just a little bit.
Do what you need.
But most people don't do nothing but sit on the couch. So if you overcome that fear, be willing to work. Listen to me about work. I hear so many people say, I'm getting sick or tired of working. You ain't gonna never get anywhere.
Got to work.
Work is in the book. Matter of fact, it says if you don't work, you shouldn't even eat.
That's what it says.
Point blank. So you need to learn to work
Oh, my goodness.
and work hard. And if you work hard, everybody that's successful will tell you that hard work is part of it.
Yes, it is.
If you are not willing to work, you're not going to ever get anywhere. You will die in poverty. And so I tell people, you be willing to take action. See, we talk all the time, dream all the time. Oh, I got a dream of this, all this stuff.
He's
It ain't
going
doing a thing. You have to be willing to take some action. Are y'all listening? If you take action, you may not know what you're doing. Half the time, we didn't know what we was doing.
That's true. That's true.
All the way back to the general store, but I knew got to get me a mop and a bucket and some water.
So you can make it happen.
I can make something happen around here.
Exactly.
So you got to be willing to take the steps, because success is there for you. God has created us to be successful.
Yes, he has.
And all we have to do is be willing to step out. And more people live to just step out. You got a dream. Most people got a dream of being something. She dreamed of walking around with the suit. I remember when they laughed at her, talking about she gonna have a maid. I don't have to clean the house anymore. That maid comes. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
There you go.
All right?
There you go. Thank you, sir. Rev just went off on y'all here, so y'all
That's
need
him.
to know. I want you to talk to me about your superpower. What is it? What's your genius? What do you believe your core of genius is?
Do you know what I believe it actually is? Is I won't stop.
Wow, that
I won't-
nobody's ever said that to me when I've asked that question.
I don't
My genius is I won't
stop.
stop. You
I
like that? I
don't
got to see it. I'm
stop.
still there.
No matter what the
Yeah,
obstacle,
yeah.
I go back, I'll back up and try to figure out, how can I get around this? What can I do? What can I do? Again, going back to as Reb talks about the Bible, he says there's no temptation that has overtaken us.
That's
He's always given us the power to escape.
Yes, sir.
And escape means the power to overcome it.
There you go.
So I won't stop. I may be slow doing it, but one step at a time. I won't stop until I get there.
Absolutely.
During the pandemic, now I knew we were in a pandemic, but I'm sitting up filling out an application for home care. I wanted to do it 15 years ago. I have an old application that I didn't bother to turn in.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, let's pull that out. I won't stop. I continue. And it took me a while to get it done, but I did get it done. I am also now licensed for that,
Your license for home.
for home care.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Listen, guys, my parents are, I can say y'all's age, y'all don't.
I don't know.
Okay, mom's 73.
I'm 73.
Dad's 75.
Yeah.
And they're still out here chasing it like y'all 25. They're still out here chasing it like they're 25 years old. What is it that makes you want to keep doing the things that you're doing? What's making you keep moving like this?
What makes me keep moving? as the good book says,
Okay, Rev.
you should leave an inheritance for your children's children.
I was going to get to that.
Too far
No,
ahead.
go ahead. I was going to go
You
there.
should leave an inheritance for your children's children.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't work hard to have something, first of all, for number one, for she and I,
Mm-hmm.
I don't work hard to have something for you
Mm-hmm.
and your two sisters. What about my grandkids? So the reason I'm still out here, that I want to make sure that there's inheritance left when I leave this world. For not only you, I want you to have a plenty, but I want my children to have some. My grandkids, I want every one of them. I want to be able to leave them something.
Yes, sir.
And that is one thing that we need to do, because as a race of people,
We stop.
so many of us, we stop too early. There's all talking about quitting. What is quitting?
What is that?
Talk about retiring. That's
is
another
that?
word.
Oh, you don't like the word retirement?
Everybody talking about retired. Ain't nobody in the Bible retired from nothing. They worked until it was over.
Right.
So this is what I intend to do: is stay out here and work until the Creator come get me.
I got you.
And that time, I want to be laying the ground for better and better to help improve this world.
Gotcha.
And I want to do it by, first of all, getting it through my family, and not only help my family, but be able to help others as well. See, when God bless you, He bless you not only for yourself. See, so many are so greedy, we want it all.
Got you.
Let God bless you, and you be able to bless somebody else, because all of us at sometimes hit on hard times.
True.
You take, for example, I'm going to throw this in. She may not want me to say it.
Uh-oh.
There was a young lady, I won't call the name, but anyhow, she had done something for us early in life, and I never forgot it. When she got old, her husband did, children did, and we went to her, and by the grace of God,
Oh, yeah.
we was able to bless her in a way that you never imagined. And I ain't talking about giving her no couple of $100s either. If you're going to bless somebody, bless them right. We was able to go to her. I won't tell no figures. And we was able to lay something in her hand in a situation where she was in desperate need.
Yes, sir.
And she said, I'm just telling you. And I've had that happen more than one time. There was another brother, I went to him when his wife had died. And he said to me, Reverend, you are a godsend.
Oh, yeah.
See, all these people come around here, and you know how we do when someone pass.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
come
Oh, yeah,
around
yeah.
and they praying for you, you know, all that. Praying is good. But when people need cash, Ecclesiastes 10:19. Money answers all things. Don't ever forget it.
Better preach.
Don't ever forget it. All right, that's about it.
Yes, dude. Talk to me, Mom, about what has entrepreneurship done
Oh, my goodness.
for you and your family. What has it done for you?
Well, I'm going to talk about, personally, it has really given me the self-confidence. Other than that, it has really been wonderful. For example, we really have been blessed. My children, you heard what has happened with student loans.
Right.
My children didn't have student loans from college because entrepreneurship allowed us
Paid for it.
allowed us to send them to college.
Absolutely.
That kind of thing. Those things make a world of difference. I basically do what I want to do. As a woman this age,
Right.
we travel. I not only travel for me every year, and this is wonderful for me. You're trying to leave a legacy for your grandchildren. Every year, we're on a trip together, sponsored by George and Sera Gilmore. Every year, usually it's December.
I attend those trips.
Right.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's November, but usually December we're able to spend the Christmas together, usually out of the country. And that has really made a difference. It's actually given me the life I wanted to live.
Wow, I love that.
It's given me the life.
I want you both to talk to me a little bit about how is it that two poor teenagers basically come together, create this life, create a family, create a business together, stay in business, stay married this long, because there's somebody out here, there's a lady who wants to do business and her husband is saying no. There's a guy that wants to do business and the wife is saying no, we're not doing that. What is it that you guys had to make you, there's some balance somewhere, obviously.
There is.
How did you deal with it? How did you do this?
We haven't always totally agreed. I mean, we're like any other couple, but I think it was the fact, or it is the fact, that we both wanted something, and basically the something we wanted was the same thing. We wanted a good life.
Absolutely.
That's basically what it is. But not only that, I think we communicated with each other. Now we can argue.
Right.
We'll talk. We will tell each other what we think. When we disagree, we'll say it. But now once we finish saying it, all right, let's move on and do what we have to do to make this thing work. So communication is extremely important in that, I believe. What would you think?
Yeah, absolutely. But what I say, I tell couples, it's a give and take situation. You cannot win every battle.
Not going to.
Even if you winning them all, lose one every now and then. I'm trying to tell you how to do it.
Okay.
See, sometimes she may be as wrong as she can be. I'll let her think she's winning. And see what I'm
vice
saying?
versa.
You know, sometimes I'm wrong as I can be. But I realize that that's the only way. It's a give and take situation in life. And I tell people, but if you come together, we really do. We sit down, we talk about things, we work it out. You know, let me take a little bit about money, for example. When she was younger, she handled all the funds. I worked. She could pick up my checks. I didn't care. I was working, sending the money in. Now, you can't do that with a fool. I'm going to say that to y'all. You got to have the right person.
That is correct.
And she pick up the money, but now that we gotten older, and that I'm not pastoring right now and all that, I handle all the money. That's why I love him. That love her. So he just worked.
It's his turn.
She worked. I pay all the bills. And I handle all the funds.
Listen,
you see, it's a give and take situation.
Listen, guys, he cooks dinner every day too.
I cook
does.
Been doing it for years.
I ain't got nothing else to do, so I might as well cook.
He cooks for me.
Keep her fed because she's making a lot of money.
And he's a good cook. He's a good
And
cook.
I'm a good accountant.
Yes, he is.
So it's a give and take situation. If you'll do that in life, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
You will.
Like I said, I talked about earlier, you guys still going. You're moving into some new spaces right now. Talk to me a little bit, if you're open to talking about
Just a tad. What we're looking at, as I said, is looking at adding substance abuse, a counselor to what we're doing. I haven't done that at all. We've had the opportunity before, and I kind of passed it up. So we're looking at doing that. And the young person who's going to do it with us is someone we met when he was in high school. And when we approached him about it, you know what he said? We should have been done this thing with you guys. It's just perfect for us to do it together. We've known him for so many years. So we're kind of looking at doing that.
And there's another space you're going into. Is there another space you're going into?
I can't remember it right now.
Daycare or something?
Oh, I forgot.
Or something to that effect.
I forgot. I forgot about it.
What are you working on now?
Well, what it is, our youngest daughter is already into the daycare arena. So the oldest daughter has also decided that is something we should look at going into. So we're kind of working towards that as well. Remember, again, I don't stop. One step at a time. We just keep going.
Don't ever quit.
What do you call it? Is that the Ever Ready Bunny? Is that what he is?
Don't ever quit.
Right. Don't stop. George and I talked about it one time. We could not find retirement in the Bible. But then we also look around. Well, our president is 80. Presidents of other countries are 70-ish and 80-ish. The big guys and the CEOs,
they never retire.
They never retire. So
the only people retire are
poor people,
middle class people.
So we can't
understand.
Right, and that's what he and I were talking about. We said, well, it's what it is. It's our thinking.
We've been trained.
We've been trained.
Mindset.
Who trained us to do that, though? The rich guys?
I don't know if they did.
I don't either. Who trained us to do that?
I don't know if they did.
We need to rethink our lives.
There's a passage in the Bible that talks about renewing the mind.
Good.
Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Regardless to what society has taught us, God gives us the ability to renew our mind, and a renewing process is something that goes on constantly, because they're steady feeding you stuff.
Exactly.
But if you will constantly throw that junk out and renew your mind and stay positive in life always, knowing that there's more. Some of your best blessings come in old age.
They
I'm
come
gonna
in
tell y'all
later
that.
life. Yes, they do.
Y'all think you're having fun now? No, fun.
Yes.
You know, and the book tells you, in Ecclesiastes as well, that fun is made and you can laugh, you can drink all the wine and liquor and be merry, but that money answer is all things in life.
People get mad when you say that.
Well,
We're not going to get into that.
But it is true.
But it's true.
It
People
is
get
the
mad,
truth.
particularly in the church community.
Well,
They get
I'm
mad.
sorry.
They like to skip over that. We want to look at all the other stuff.
No.
But then we all suffering because nobody has any
But
money.
your church can't operate without money.
Yeah, you got to have some
You won't
bread.
have a building. You won't have any pews. You can't pay the electric bill.
You can't help
cannot
anybody without
anyone.
any money.
You must have money. That's what missions do.
And there's plenty of it on this earth.
Yes,
it's
it
an
is.
abundance. God made everything in abundance.
Yes, he did.
All we got to do is get up
Go take it.
and get it. That's right, you have to take it.
Listen, I'm getting ready to close out now. We could go on for a good while.
Yeah, I'm just getting started.
I'm trying to decide what the name of this podcast is going to be. I don't know if it's Mama and Daddy Left a Legacy. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Legacy in business. I don't know where we're going. But what I want to do is I do want to thank you both for coming down here. I didn't think y'all were going to do it first.
Well, you did.
I know. I didn't think he was going to do it. I knew you would do it, but I didn't think Dad would come down.
You didn't think so?
Would come down here and do it. Listen, guys, this
pleasure.
is the Wealth 100 podcast. We run a mastermind called the Wealth 100. If you're an entrepreneur, six-figure professional looking to take your life and your business to the next level, I need you to tap in with us, guys. Go to thewealth100.com. Just check us out. See if it's something that you might want to get involved with. I want to thank you guys again for giving me the seed of entrepreneurship, because I can't do anything else, guys. I've only worked
That's all.
2 jobs outside of family business. I sold cars when I came out of college
You did.
for a minute, and I sold insurance for Nationwide or
You
something
did.
for a minute
Okay.
in Atlanta, Georgia. And that was about it. Other than that, I've been just
Entrepreneur.
doing business, and y'all know me. I
That's
got
it.
3 things going on at any
That's
time.
Right.
Listen, it's out here for you guys. It's time to go get it. Let's go get it right now. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealth 100. Peace. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealth 100 show. Today's show has been sponsored by the Wealth 100 Mastermind. If you're ready to join a tribe of winners, if you want to be a part of the best mastermind on the planet, go to thewealth100.com right now and apply. I need you to get into the room right now, guys. Let's go. Thewealth100.com.